Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. Today we will be reviewing Blood Prison at the old Mansfield State Reformatory. As you know, if you've watched this channel, we've been there many times. It's won our Haunt of the Year many times. It also was in our documentary series, Haunt Behind the Scare, which includes that and many other haunts, which you should go find on our YouTube channel. It's all in a playlist. Very much appreciate it if you watch that. But that being said, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Haunt Talk. Can't get much creepier than when you put a haunted house inside of an old abandoned prison. We've been to many. We have yet to been to one. We've yet to go to one that's as good as Mansfield. The closest we've been to is when we went to Penhurst, right? Not Penhurst. Close to Penhurst. Penhurst is an asylum.
No.
Eastern State Penitentiary.
State, yeah.
But from what we've heard, that one's changed. That one's changed a lot. So we haven't been there in many years. We want to get back there. Maybe we'll do that next year. I don't know for sure. One of these years we're going to get to Reaper's Revenge, which is kind of around there. Not really. But I digress. We have always loved Blood Prison because, well, for one, a few years ago now, we kind of just stopped going because it wasn't that good. But then Vic took over, and ever since he took over, it's basically just been on an upward climb.
Oh, yeah.
Where just every year it seems to get better and better. Where, to be honest, last year was so good, we were like, I don't know if it can ever get better than this. So we obviously had to go this year, especially since it was part of the documentary. And I guess we'll let you know in the review if it's better than that. Which means we must refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! So again, as I mentioned, giant prison. Just pulling up to this place, super creepy. They don't really have to do any kind of decorating outside much at all. Because, you just throw a couple lights on the prison. There it is. Just, which I guess they did do some, projection and stuff like that. We didn't really get to see any of that, but Vic was telling us, the owner / well, he doesn't own the prison, but, the runner of the Blood Prison event.
Yeah.
That they, had that around there and stuff. But, yeah, we didn't really get to see that. They do have, some concessions and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The line is not so...
Wow.
We'll probably talk more about this in value, but this is one of the busiest haunted houses, even though they do time ticketing now. But, yeah, well, getting ahead of myself, but just when you see it when you pull in, you see the prison first, and you see the line second, you're like, oh no.
Yeah. If ever there was a time to take, a fast pass, it would be...
Yeah. But you walk into the place... Right, so you wait in the huge line, then you get into, kind of the, I don't know what they call it, the foyer, I don't know. And then, you're basically told to go up the stairs, and you go up the stairs, and it's, real dark, and then you wind around the corner, and it's in what is that room?
It was a visiting room.
Okay.
So when people would come to visit prisoners there, they would have tables and chairs and set up so they could visit with their family or whatever like that in this big fenced-in room.
Yeah. But they have a lot of cool Halloween decorations.
Oh my gosh.
A photo op now, too.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And then you're basically let in to the haunt proper. And the first thing you come to is the first thing you'll see if you watch our documentary, which is just basically themed to a haunted house. It's the widow's house, correct?
It's supposed to be the widow's house, yes.
You go through various scenes there, all haunted house themed stuff.
Your classic haunted house, you've got your creepy, library, you got your kitchen, you got the doll room, things like that. You're
going through the walls.
Yeah, and going through the fireplace, things like that. Just your typical haunted house kind of stuff.
What I really like about it though is you enter, and this might sound stupid, but it's cool to actually see it in concept. You actually enter through the front of the house. There's a giant facade of the front of the house.
Yeah.
You enter through there, and then you exit on the back porch once you're done with the haunted house. And if you actually, you wouldn't normally necessarily turn around and look, but if you do, like, even the windows are lit up once you've left the house, and you then basically exit through the garden, and that ends basically the first part of the haunted house.
Yes.
And then after that is when you start getting in, because none of that part you even realize you're in a prison. That's all like...
No, not at all.
They don't really talk about it as being multiple themes or multiple haunts, but it kind of is, because you do wait and...
Yeah.
I think you're held 2 or 3 times throughout the haunted house. It's really, like, defined sections.
Yeah. I want to say 3, because you leave the widow's house, and then...
You go directly into solitary after that, I do believe.
You go into solitary, and then I think there's a queue line right after that.
Yeah.
To take you into the, like, the zombie-ish kind of area.
And then there might be one after that, but...
And I think there's one after that, yeah.
But yeah.
To go in the clown area.
But yes, then you go into solitary, and solitary never really has sets and props because it doesn't need it. It's just dark in there, and the actors do their thing. We'll get to that later. So yeah, then you get to the cell blocks, and this is the part that's improved the most over the years.
Oh, yeah.
They've done so much stuff. They don't do it anymore. I remember one year they even had a part where you'd actually, like, they built a whole cave system outside of the prison.
Yeah,
like
I
you would
forgot
leave
about
through an
that.
exit door and go through a cave, which was cool. But now, you know, they just have these cell blocks so decked out, like whole ass tanks. And this tank actually, there's an actor that controlled it, but shot at us like a giant blast of air. A crashed. Was the crashed plane there? Yeah, the crashed plane was there this year.
Numerous cars like sitting on their side and
because it's like like Kim said, it's like a, I don't know if it's a zombie. I think it's a zombie apocalypse.
I think
kind
it's
of situation.
I think it's kind of like
Something
a apocalyptic
lines.
kind of thing with some zombies thrown in there.
And just with like the lighting and the fog, it's kind of crazy because it's like, there's no other prison that I've been to that does this like this, because you know you're in a prison because there's all the cells, but there's all this amazing theming and it's just this clash that somehow works.
Yeah.
They also have this, later on, there's this immaculate church scene they've built, and you weave through, like, I think it's like a graveyard. There's like a bit of an asylum setting.
Yeah.
There's a clown section. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the cells. I think that's for the most part the themes that you see in the cells. And then there is the basement scene, which they've kind of changed up a bit this year.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I don't know what to call the theming, but I don't know.
Experimental.
Yeah.
Kind of medical-ish. Basically, they're taking prisoners and doing things to them.
Yeah, you go through like a whole contamination, like archway thing.
Yeah.
They have all of those. What do they call those? Like the spinning tape things that they have. Because he was trying to show us them working there, but he couldn't get it up and running when we were doing the preview.
Oh, but, yeah. It's
like, I think it's like old computer
old
type of things.
computers, and it was
they're
this,
actually all spinning.
they're all spinning and lighting
They're
up
like
and
disc,
stuff like that, yeah.
But yeah, sets and props, absolutely amazing in this place, and I mean, they don't even have to go as hard as they do, right? Because again, especially for the cell blocks, like they could literally just make you walk the cell blocks and just freak you out. And it's pretty much all they used to do.
Yeah.
But now it's just... Man, you have to go to this place. It's so good. Sets and props is a 10.
Yes.
Like, it's so good. Because they just go that extra mile that they don't have to go, and then they go an extra mile above that, and it's ridiculous. But now we get to talk about our favorite thing that we get to talk about with this place, which is the actors. If you don't do the touch pass when you go here, you are doing yourself such a disservice. Now, I get it. Like, if it's too much for you, but man... If you're looking for, if you're like, man, normal haunted houses aren't intense enough for me, but I also don't want to do one of these haunted houses where they literally force feed me and like actually cut me open. This is like the perfect thing to do. God, they're rough with the touch pass, right? We were pretty much conga lined kind of like the whole thing, and it does not matter because they were so busy. Vic even told us, he's like, they're going to be big groups tonight. And I'm like, it doesn't matter with the touch pass, dude. It doesn't matter. Like, you're going to get an experience. Like, if you make it through this thing without having at least one experience where you just wonder if they're going to kill you, like, you're kidding. It didn't happen. I mean, like, the second we walk in, our friend Cam at this point was leading. Literally, someone just comes out of a hole, just grabs her, and she just starts screaming, and she's gone. Just funny, because, like, This part had some fog filling the room, and I just see the glow stick on her neck. I think she had a green one, and I just see it go, whoop, gone.
It was pretty funny. Because she's just hollering. She's just like, wah!
Yeah.
She's just gone.
I mean, what? My God. There's a woman in a kitchen that spanks you as you're leaving. Like, she makes sure
that
to
hurt.
get you with that spoon.
That
Yeah,
was
you.
That was a hard.
She don't
spank.
tap you. She spanks you. There's a woman hanging from the ceiling, grabbing your hair and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kim had her hair grabbed and pulled so many times.
That is the theme this year, is how many times people can grab my hair at every haunted house that we have been to that has a touch pass. I swear, it's over 20.
It's an easy target, I feel like. Also, if you're wearing glasses, I would honestly recommend wearing a glasses strap. They're so rough. There's 2 or 3 instances where my glasses were flying off my face and I had to grab them and tell the actor, like, oh my God.
Me
Which
too.
typically, if they hear you, they'll kind of like let up so they don't ruin your expensive glasses. But, you know that going into it. It's just one of the many things, It's an intense experience. Another point, Cam was taken from our group and we couldn't find her. We didn't know where she went. And then like 3 or 4 minutes later in the haunt, we get up. There's like a part that winds by the cell, and the actor walks up, unlocks the cell, and Cam just comes walking out. And we're like, there she is.
There she is.
So like they must have taken her and like remembered us and like waited for us to do it. Then I got put in the cell, and they tried to separate me, and she went to go scare someone else, the person that put me in there, and I don't know if it was she or you. And then I escaped, and they literally started running after me, like trying to get me back in. And I'm like, no. Just like running away from them.
Yeah, and then that person actually came up to me, and I'm pretty sure she licked me. Because my face was wet.
Yeah, so.
It was gross.
Yeah. They do like getting you wet here, yeah.
Yes.
There's a nun that literally just, holy water on your face, she'll jump up on a pew and just fling it right in your face.
God. I couldn't see. My glasses were completely saturated in water, and I'm just like, I was leading too, so I'm like trying to like navigate through the rest of the haunt, and my glasses are all spotty and stuff. I'm like,
yeah. There's a woman that's like in the asylum scene, probably one of the most ridiculous things. She literally puts you in a chokehold and like forces your eye open and sprays water in it. That happens.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, the chainsaw guy at the end of this was so rough with me. I don't even know if you saw what he did to me. But he well, at first I thought he rubbed it up and down my back a little, and then I went to walk away. Then he grabbed me by the shoulder, spun me around, and held me down against this thing, and just reamed me with it. And I'm like, holy crap. And I just hear my cousin being like, oh my God. Next to me, and I'm just like, there's a little bit of a wobble in my step when I...
Hey, at least it wasn't art.
Even when you're walking up the stairs to leave, there's a girl laying that will just grab you as you're walking up the stairs.
Yeah, and I almost wanted to do the carpetbagger and be like, no scares on stairs.
Yeah, absolutely nutso.
Crazy.
It's so much fun. Again, know what we're saying in this review so you know what you're getting into. Know that you can take it off at any point in time.
Yes. We did watch a group.
Oh, yeah.
That all the adults had glow necklaces. And then they had 2 underage kids there because you have to be 18?
I think so.
believe.
Yeah, most places are.
But we didn't even get through the first section of the haunted house.
You'll know right away if it's for you or not.
Yeah, and only one of the 4 adults that were in this group had their glow stick still on their neck.
It's an experience. This isn't a type of experience where you just remember it, and it's really such a disservice to not do the touch pass. Yeah. Because these actors, they want you to have the touch pass. A lot of these people are actors that come back year after year. Because the one that opened my eye and sprayed stuff into it, I think she remembered us as well, type of thing. Yeah, actors are obviously a 10. They're just so good. We didn't have anything quite as crazy as last year when we were thrown between rooms at the end because they restructured the haunt. But I also wasn't locked in a cell last year.
Yeah.
And people weren't taken from our group and stuff like that. So, I think it evens it out.
Yeah.
Scare factor, there's not much more to say here about all the things we just said. Again, if you want a really scary, freaky experience, make sure you get that touch pass.
Yes.
It's hard to say what this experience would be like without the touch pass. Because this place doesn't have... It has jump scares, but it's not. It's more focused on actors interacting with you
Yeah.
than jump scares.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's not going to be. I would say this place is a 10. We're giving it a 10 for scare factor.
Yes.
But I will say, if you don't do the touch pass, I think you could enjoy it if you only semi-like haunted houses, just because of how beautiful it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it'll be too overwhelming without the touch pass.
Yeah.
With the touch pass, if you're someone that gets really scared at haunted houses, you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
But again, you can take it off. Like Kim said earlier, you can just take it off if it's too much. But at least give it a try.
Yeah.
Because, bringing us into value, it's not that much more to add it. Adding the touch pass is only $7. Most places at least 10.
At least 10.
So
10 to
7 really
13
isn't a bad
Yeah.
upcharge. I think that's a great price to add the fast
Not at
pass.
all.
I still wish places made you pay extra if you didn't want the touch pass, but I know that's stupid.
Cedar
But-
Point does that. They have
Well,
a
it's not-
no-boo necklace.
It's to not get scared, yeah.
Yeah, to not get scared,
don't
and you
touch
have
you
to
then.
pay for it there. But
But yeah, I think that's still extremely reasonable for that. The ticketing price is weird because it's online only and you have to select a time slot. So it's $35 plus a $5 service fee, so it's $40. And then there's the Ultra Lightning, which I think these are the only two they offer that I saw this year, which is basically their Fast Pass, which is $55 plus $5.
yeah,
So it's going to be $20 more. Do that. I would say do that. I know that $20 more might sound like a lot, but even though it's time ticketing, you will be waiting hours in this line.
gosh.
You will be waiting hours. I mean, maybe if you show up like right when they first open with your time ticket, you might be able to get in.
like just to give you a perspective, if you've ever been to the Reformatory, you know that when you drive up to it, there's a gate right at the entrance of the driveway. Literally, the line was to the building, all the way down to that fence at that gate, and it went back again. So it was like a switchback line. That's how big of a line that was.
It's a gigantic line because
It's huge.
because again they don't pump people through that quickly.
No.
So you will be there for a while. I mean, me and Kim waited at least 2 hours in a line half that size.
Yeah.
So yeah, do yourself a favor if you're not going to be one of the first groups there. Because how I believe it works here is the same way it works at some other places where it's like, let's say you have an 8 o'clock ticket, you can't enter at 7, but if you have a 7 o'clock ticket, you can enter at 10.
Yeah.
You can enter anytime after your time slot. So if you are one of the first time slots, there's not that many people they'll actually let in. But if you're one of the later time slots, if people are showing up late, which they always do, you're going to get kind of cursed with that on a lot of nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took 40 minutes to go through. Now, I didn't pause it for the little lines that were in here because the lines didn't last that long. I would say the little lines that kind of helped separate you are maybe 1 to 2 minutes long a piece.
Yeah, we didn't
So,
wait very long.
I would say you have at least 35 minutes of like actual walking through this attraction time. Because we really didn't stop at all, thankfully. None of the groups ever came to a dead stop. We were with other people pretty much the whole time. But again, with the touch pass, it doesn't ruin your experience. But yeah, value, even though it's a little expensive, we still think for the quality you're getting here, it's absolutely excellent value, and that touch pass is a good deal. So we're giving that a 9.5.
And that brings us to our overall score of a 10.
Yeah, still just amazing. It's really hard to really even like say anything we would want to make better. I just hopefully they keep making like little changes here and there just to keep things fresh. But besides that, I don't really have any notes for improvement on this place. Yeah,
No.
just change up things and add little things here and there just to make it so when we come every year that it's not 100% the same. But even if we were to go next year and they don't make one change, if the actors are as good as they were this year, it's not even necessary.
Yeah.
Because you're so busy getting attacked that you don't even notice half the scenes, which is why you should watch our documentary again so you can actually see the scenes. And you don't get to see like the prison cells because they weren't up yet, but still, you get to see like the first section and the last section. But yes, that being said, have you been this year? What did you think about it? Did you do the touch pass? What kind of crazy things happened to you? Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're ringing that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.